Alright, so I got this whining article from PCGamer.com. It's up on archive because, well, you'll see. Doom co-creator John Carmack is headlining a toxic and proud sci-fi convention that rails against woke propaganda. Carmack has the list of guests at the upcoming event that bills itself as a sci-fi convention for people tired of woke propaganda. I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. I'm just going to kind of hit some of the highlights. But it basically talks about John Carmack is facing criticism, by a few Twitter people, and then of course the mainstream media, for his recent announcement that he will be attending BasedCon, a sci-fi and fantasy convention for fans who are tired of woke propaganda. He said, "I'm going to BasedCon.com again this year. I've read books and Twitter interacted with 3 of the authors, but I wasn't sure what to expect. It turned out fun in a grassroots con way that reminded me of the old space access days." Blah, blah, blah. And it even says, attending the con is a pretty unremarkable thing most of the time. But BasedCon isn't like most. Its website claims the convention isn't about pushing any particular ideology, while at the same time listing examples of base beliefs that the organizers subscribe to. Okay. Men cannot give birth. No problem there. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. I largely believe in that. Although, I will see that having more guns does increase the risk of accidents and so on and so forth. But by and large, though, I'm a proponent of the Second Amendment and stuff in the U.S. It's a debatable topic, though. I'd gladly debate people. Same with the next one, a fetus is a human being. I'll be gladly debate people on this and stuff. I think there's room for debate. Socialism has failed everywhere it's been tried. That's pretty much a fact. Don't take my word for it. I live in America. Take the word of people who have fled socialist-run countries and then tell you that socialism sucks. I'm going to take their word for it. They lived through this stuff, not me. Why am I going to listen to somebody at UC Cal Berkeley or whatever who's never lived in socialism, has no idea what it's really like, telling me that it's all great? I'm going to listen to the guy or the girl or whatever who fled a socialist country and says it's shit. Discriminating against white people is racism. Yes, again, that's an undeniable fact. Racism is racism. Doesn't matter if it's white on black, black on white, white on brown, or whatever color, you call us. Because we're all people. Discriminating against white people is racism. It's ridiculous. But anyway, they're talking about complaints that sci-fi cons used to be a lot of fun. In recent years, they've been dominated by a small clique of authoritarian jerks who made them into venues for pushing socialist justice dogma. Again, I believe that. I think that's largely true. Anyway, then they got to whine some about Gamergate, blah, 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 and everything. It also warns you that if you happen not to embrace those beliefs, you should probably stay away. If you think people with a certain skin color can't be racist or expect people to use made-up pronouns when talking about you, you may want to do a reality check before coming to BasedCon. It doesn't say that those people shouldn't go. It just says, hey, look, you're not going to be, that kind of stuff isn't going to be welcome there. But anyway, and they complain some about Carmack, and they give a few examples of some followers, which I get. If you're upset, although you really should have kind of seen this coming from Carmack because he's always kind of been that way. But, whatever. Dude, you gave me a glimmer of hope interacting with my tweets about forums of address and VR, and now you're going to a party at Chud's where this is their raison d'etre. This sucks. I'm not sure what the whole where this. I'm guessing it's like a link or whatever. Okay, never mind. BasedCon does not disclose its location. The event was held at an unnamed hotel in Grand Rapids, Michigan. For security reasons, does not share specifics with anyone who isn't registered to attend. I think that's a very revealing detail about the real nature of BasedCon. If you're not willing to tell people where your event is being held, maybe it's worth examining why. I'll tell you why. It's because they will be, bombarded and protested by a bunch of idiots, who are going to get super violent about things, Then, of course, this is where the guy's got to editorialize. This whole thing is kind of gross and sad, and there's really no arguing that Carmack isn't aware of the ugly side of events. Blah, blah, blah. Never meet your heroes. I've reached out to Carmack for content and will update if I receive a reply. You probably won't. That's the end of the article. Like I said, I'll link it in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. I kind of did an okay job of reading it, I guess. But to me, it's like these things are not like the other. Like the whole guns and the whole fetus. Guns and abortion, that's a very heated topic. People are going to get very upset and stuff. Those, I don't think you can compare these two things, guns and then abortion to men cannot give birth, discriminating against white people is racism, and then to a lesser extent socialism is failed everywhere it's been tried. Because I'm sure I know there's some people who really strongly believe in socialism. I still wouldn't put it on the categories of guns and abortions, but whatever. But the whole men cannot give birth and discriminating against white people's racism, like men can't give birth. That's just, I mean, it's just the way it is. It's biologically impossible. Now you can be a trans man, a woman who's transitioned to a man, and give birth. Although I would say though that have you really truly transitioned? Because if you still have your woman parts, you haven't transitioned to a man, have you? I mean, I I'm not trying to erase your identity and destroy your humanity or whatever. Like I'll sit here, trans man's a man, trans woman's a woman. I'll say that if you want. And hey, if that you really shouldn't be trying to find validation from me, but whatever. That's all fine and dandy. But let's just not ignore reality here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I've already gone over 6 minutes on this. Probably shouldn't even have gone that long, to be honest. I generally try not to give too many of my own viewpoints. Although, I mean, I always do, of course. But, I try not to make them too strong. We'll say that. Basically, I don't want to make it, because I don't want to make it out like, oh, I'm 100% right, and anyone who disagrees with me is an idiot, or anything like that. I don't ever want to give that impression to people. But, whatever. I'll gladly debate people. We'll just leave it like that. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.